The Battle of Uhud, a pivotal moment in Islamic history. The battle that almost wiped out Islam forever. Introduction. Imagine, Islam was on the verge of extinction. One moment, one fatal mistake, and everything could have ended. The Prophet Etchen, his companions, the faith that had spread from Mecca to Medina, it was all hanging by a thread. Can you believe it? A single moment decided the difference between survival and total destruction. This wasn't just a battle. It was almost the end of Islam.
This is the story of the Battle of Uhud.
The city of Medina was preparing. Swords sharpened, armor fastened, hands trembling, but not with fear, with determination. Quraysh was coming, not like in Badr, but with 3,000 warriors filled with vengeance. On the other side, only 1,000 Muslims standing against this storm. Their faces were strong, but their eyes burned with faith. And then, the first betrayal happened. Abdullah ibn Ubay and his followers abandoned the battlefield. A third of the Muslim army walked away, leaving them weaker, outnumbered, and vulnerable. On the slopes of Mount Uhud, the Prophet Norbert pointed to a small hill behind the battlefield and commanded, 50 archers stay here. No matter what happens, do not leave your position. This hill was the key to victory. If they held their ground, the Muslims would win. If they abandoned it, disaster would strike. Drums pounded, swords clashed, the air filled with the screams of war. The armies charged like crashing waves. Arrows sliced through the sky, warriors fell, and the battlefield turned into chaos. The Muslims fought like lions. 10 of Quraysh's commanders fell one by one. Their cavalry retreated. The enemy lines collapsed.
We have won.
The cry echoed through the battlefield. The Quraysh warriors ran for their lives. The battle was over. Or so they thought. The moment everything changed, from the hill the archers watched. Victory was clear. The Quraysh warriors were retreating, leaving behind their weapons, shields, and treasures. A deadly temptation. Whispers among the archers, hesitation. Then a decision that would change history forever. The battle is over. Let's go collect the spoils. One by one, the archers abandoned their posts. But someone was watching. Someone who had been waiting for this exact moment. Khalid ibn al-Walid.
Now!
With a single command, Khalid ibn al-Walid and his 200 cavalrymen charged from behind the hill. The Muslims never saw it coming. Swords slashed through their ranks. Warriors fell. Victory turned into chaos in seconds. Screams filled the battlefield. Blood covered the ground. The Muslim army broke apart. Some fought, some ran, some froze in fear. And then, the chilling words that shook the battlefield.
Muhammad has been killed!
The entire army stopped. Was it true? Some warriors threw down their weapons. Others wept. Some tried to flee. If Muhammad is dead, then why fight? One moment of doubt, 1 second of weakness, and Islam was about to be wiped out. In the midst of the carnage, one man still stood, bleeding but unbroken, the Prophet. His helmet was shattered, blood dripped from his face, his teeth were broken, but his voice thundered through the battlefield. The Prophet Hiyan and the Battle of Courage.
I am here. I am alive.
The words hit like lightning. The companions turned. The Prophet An was still standing. To me, O servants of Allah. The warriors found their courage again. The scattered soldiers regrouped. The Prophet Evan was still alive, and as long as he stood, the battle was not over. Scene 9. Fighting to the last breath. The battle was no longer about victory. It was about survival. Talha ibn Ubaidullah shielded the Prophet Amman with his own body. Anas ibn al-Nadir charged into enemy lines alone. Every fighter knew this could be his last moment, but none would back down. Scene 10. A bitter ending. After hours of brutal combat, the battlefield fell silent. 70 Muslims lay martyred, including Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib, the Lion of Allah, slaughtered mercilessly. But despite everything, the Quraysh failed to kill the Prophet Amaz. They failed to destroy Islam. Conclusion. A lesson never forgotten. The Battle of Uhud was not just a battle, it was a test. One mistake almost erased Islam, but Allah protected his messenger's size. It was a painful loss, but it made the Muslims stronger. It made them unbreakable. And so, this battle almost destroyed Islam forever, but instead it made it eternal.